Hey, and welcome to Late Night with Tania. I'm Tania Shipman from Simple Solutions Today and Business Automation 101. Office automation. What am I talking about? Office automation is using any sort of software to do basic automation tasks in your business for Office. So what that really means is using Word, using Excel, setting up spreadsheets, capturing your accounting information, keeping a record of taxes, invoices, payments. All of these are classed under office automation. If you're running a business, you have to have an office automation set up. It's a given. You need to be able to invoice people. You need to be able to capture your payments and your expenses. You need to be able to capture your income. You need to be able to do your taxes. You need to be able to type a letter if you need to. You need to do a spreadsheet. You need to do a PowerPoint presentation. All of that is office automation. So I often run into people who go, yeah, but that can all be taken care of by my accountant or by other people, and it can. But you have to have an understanding of what office automation is about so that you can, hi Tony, nice to see you join in. You have to have an idea of what office automation is so that you're making sure that it's done properly. So when you run a business, there are certain requirements. Most people have to have either some sort of tax status, whether it's LLC, limited, all sorts of different ones. It also depends on what country you're in. So wherever you are, you have to decide whether you want to be down as a sole trader, as a business, and there's a whole heap of multiple things there. So that's just to get yourself started. Before you do anything else, what are you calling yourself as a business? And then setting it up so that you pay it every year. Another thing that you have to be aware of is that you have to pay taxes. This money online that you make just doesn't appear out of nowhere and it doesn't go anywhere. The government will tax you on it. Then there are all the other parts of an office that is just a given that you have to do. You have to be able to invoice somebody. As I said, you have to be able to pay your bills. You have to keep records of all of this. And you have to be able to demonstrate or keep those records for a certain amount of years, depending again on what country you live in and depending on what sort of records they are. You're looking at anywhere from having to keep records for 1 year to 7 years to even in some cases 21 years. It depends on what it is. And if you don't know what the difference is, when it comes tax time or when you get audited, you have to be able to pull that information up and saying, oh, I lost it or I got rid of it or I destroyed it, doesn't count for anything. Then there's what word processing program do you use? How do you write a letter to somebody? How do you write an email? What autoresponders? There's so much involved with office automation. The great thing is that so much of it can be automated. You can use things like Google Voice typing, which I've talked about before, to be able to write letters and emails, create products. I've talked about how you can set up so that all your payments get recorded into a spreadsheet. There's all sorts of things that you can do with office automation. But if you're not paying attention to it, then you're not running a business. You're having a hobby that you're spending a lot of money on. And if you're not being able to record all of this information, when bills are due, when tax time comes around, when somebody's trying to get a refund or trying to get return of money, you're going to be asked, why can't you do this? You've got to do this. And it can also lead to all sorts of legal requirements and legal penalties. So if you don't know anything about office automation, then you need to start asking questions into the group so that we can start answering them. Business automation, office automation, it's all automation, but that's why I decided to do a quick video about what office automation was so that you're aware of just how important it is for your business. You have to be able to demonstrate that you are an entity of some sort. You have to be able to demonstrate that you're collecting money and where it's going in terms of payments. You also have to keep a record of things that you can claim for tax time. There's a whole heap of things that go into office administration and office automation. So if you're not doing all of the things that I've mentioned in this video, start asking some questions, start looking around on what you're required to do depending on what country you live in, and start asking some questions into the group. So, little bit of a heads up, I'm happy to talk more about this if you've got questions, but I just wanted to let you know how important office automation is. Talk to you all in my next video. I'm Tania Shipman from Simple Solutions Today in Business Automation 101. I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.